Number 5. Tarek Saffiedine is the former Strikeforce welterweight champion who possesses one of the most vicious leg kicks in the UFC. When he fought Hyun Gyu Lim at UFC Fight Night 34, he targeted Hyun Gyu Lim's legs throughout the rounds, throwing punishing hard leg kicks, eliminating his ability to press forward in the fight. In the later rounds of the fight, Hyun Gyu Lim had problems standing up and was very limited in his movement. The damage done with his leg kicks was enough to secure him the victory in the fight. He is a very high level striker whose leg kicking ability is one of the best in the UFC today. Number 4. Rafael Dos Anos is the former UFC lightweight champion. He possesses one of the best Muay Thai striking in the UFC and has one of the most brutal leg kicks in the promotion. When he fought Nate Diaz at UFC on Fox 13, he started the first round very aggressive and immediately targeted Nate Diaz's legs, throwing vicious leg kicks, slowing down the movement of Nate Diaz. He continued kicking the hell out of Nate Diaz's legs throughout the second and third rounds. Nate Diaz's legs showed massive amounts of bruising and could barely stand up. The UFC president Dana White said that Rafael Dos Anos should have been arrested for attempted murder for just putting a one-side beatdown on Nate Diaz. Rafael Dos Anos is a well-rounded fighter who possesses one of the most vicious leg kicks in the UFC today. Number 3. Donald Cerrone is a high-level kickboxer who possesses one of the hardest leg kicks in the UFC. When he fought Eddie Alvarez at UFC 178, Eddie Alvarez started the first round off with a high pace, throwing everything he had at Donald Cerrone. In the last 2 rounds, Donald Cerrone used his leg kicks to slow him down and had him limping all over the place. Near the end of the third round, his vicious leg kicks had shown to have done a lot of damage, as Eddie Alvarez was seen having problems standing up. When he fought Miles Jury at UFC 182, we saw him winding his kicks up and throwing a full force to Miles Jury on the ground. He possesses a great kicking ability and is certainly one of the best leg kickers in the UFC today. Number 2. Jose Aldo is the current UFC featherweight champion and possesses one of the most brutal leg kicks in the UFC. When he fought Uriah Faber at WEC 48, he continuously kicked Uriah Faber's legs, causing tremendous amounts of damage during the fight, and was seen with massive amounts of bruising after the fight. He is very good at disguising his kicks and sets them up very well using different striking combinations. When he fought Ricardo Lamas at UFC 169, Jose Aldo beat the living hell out of Ricardo Lamas' legs, forcing him to switch stances later on in the fight. He has one of the most powerful leg kicks in the UFC featherweight division and is one of the best leg kickers in the UFC. Number 1. Edson Barboza is one of the most scariest kickers in the UFC today. He is a high-level Muay Thai fighter and is known for his devastating leg kicks inside the octagon. His leg kicks are so powerful that he has finished 3 of his fights by TKO leg kicks, with his opponents unable to continue. He has the ability to generate a lot of power very quickly to throw his ferocious leg kicks. When he fought Gilbert Melendez at UFC on Fox 20, we saw in the fight that his leg kicks gave Gilbert Melendez so much trouble and eventually limited his movement near the end of the fight. He has the perfect leg kicking technique and I believe he has the best leg kicks in the UFC today.